guys, if you don't know me, I am Jeannine, and I am back with another movie night review of the top 100 films. I got this really awesome 100 top movies poster where you can kind of scratch away each movie as you watch them. There's a fun little graphic underneath. So I thought it would be fun to do reviews on each of the movies I watch as I kind of go through these 100 films. Some of them are movies I've seen many times, some of them are movies I haven't seen at all. So it'll be fun to get to ones that I'm watching for the first time. And with that, it's movie night, of course, so I couldn't have a fun movie night without my movie snack. Tonight I was snacking on some gummy sour worms, some squirms. These are kind of like my favorite thing right now. So good. And of course, a custom cocktail. I love making themed cocktails, particularly for movie nights. So I'm gonna try to make one for each one of these reviews, and the recipe's down in the description if you want to make one yourself and watch this movie. So to get to the movie that I'm talking about, of course, I'm talking one of my favorites from my actual favorite director, Edgar Wright's Hot Fuzz. So for my custom cocktail, I couldn't find anything that was Hot Fuzz specific, really. So I went with a fuzzy navel. It's got fuzz in the name. It's pretty basic. Basically just peach schnapps and orange juice. I used an orange mango juice to kind of jazz it up a little bit. If you wanted to have a little more alcohol, you could add some vodka. I think that would be really good. But I kept it pretty simple. And to bring in the blue of Hot Fuzz, as if you know anything about Edgar Wright and the Cornetto trilogy, he's kind of flavored each one of his Simon Pegg films as a Cornetto ice cream kind of flavor. So Shaun of the Dead is red. This movie is blue. Hot Fuzz is blue for cops, police. Shaun of the Dead is red, of course, for blood. And At World's End is green for aliens. So Hot Fuzz is the blue film. So I thought to bring in the Hot Fuzz vibe and the Cornetto theme, I put some blue sugar around the rim to make it more of the theme. So it's pretty good, pretty simple, but I enjoyed sipping on this during the movie, and I garnished with a slice of peach. You can use fresh or frozen. I just used a slice of frozen peach because that's what I had to bring in the fuzz of the fuzzy navel. So this was my custom cocktail. I had my snack and I watched this movie. It's actually one of my favorite movies. I haven't seen it in a long time. I kind of more go to Shaun of the Dead. If you didn't notice my custom designed Shaun of the Dead shirt, that's probably my favorite of the Cornetto trilogy. So but I do really love this movie. And I hadn't seen it in a while, so it was really great to kind of get to revisit it. Like I said, Edgar Wright is my absolute favorite director. He feels like he never wants to waste a frame. He never wants to make a frame a waste of time or boring. He always wants to use everything he has to the best of his ability. And I absolutely love that about him as a filmmaker. And this movie was just another reminder and illustration of that skill that he has to really use every frame to do something fun and special. The fact that he makes the most mundane action action-packed and takes that frame to do a quick whip pan or make it seem like it's an epic movement when it's really just hanging up a coat or there's something very basic or falling asleep and waking up. Doing these quick edits not only shows some creativity of, you know, filling the space with interesting moments and interesting cuts, but it also adds to the comedy of it that you are seeing something so simple and mundane with a very action-y feeling and trying to make something very simple kind of epic. I think that also adds to the comedy of the cuts. This movie in itself is kind of a spoof. It's kind of like a British take on American action films. And we do have a character, Nick Frost character, who is obsessed with American action movies. And I do like that they kind of play with those concepts and ideas. And that was kind of the whole premise behind making this movie in the first place. was to kind of see these two British guys in the situation of these kind of big budget action shoot 'em up kind of movies. And it's also great to see these two characters in that vein, because you're not looking at these two and thinking action stars, particularly Simon Pegg. So I do like Simon. Like, I was like, Simon Pegg, you're kind of hot in this movie. Like, you're kind of a hot action star. Like, I was into it. That he was like just so competent. I remember seeing on Twitter, Lon Harris, who writes Honest Trailers on Fandom, he brought up the idea, the concept of competency porn, that when you're watching a movie and you see someone excelling at their job, it is just so satisfying when you're watching a movie and seeing someone just do their job perfectly and really succeeding. He calls that competency porn. So that was definitely, Nick Angel is a competency porn character. He is so good at his job that they send him away because he's making everybody else look bad because he's doing so good at his job. And I've been in situations with jobs where I do a job so well that people kind of get annoyed because it makes them have to step up their game, and they're lazy, so they don't want to have to do that. So I've been in situations like that. So I always kind of related to that about the character, that like he's doing the best job he can do, and that is annoying to people and it's making them look bad, so they just send him away and get rid of him. And I do love kind of this chain of command scene at the beginning where, you do see the montage of him, excelling in everything, and then his bosses, and then the boss's boss, and the boss's boss above him, all telling him kind of the same thing in a roundabout way until it gets to Bill Nighy, and then he tells him kind of the straight out truth of why they're sending him away. And I love that they're all kind of this who's who of like great British actors kind of just sprinkled in this movie. Also love that there is a character named Jeannine in this movie, and it's kind of secretly played by Cate Blanchett. So I always love that she's his ex Jeannine, and it's Cate Blanchett, and she just did it just because, just for the fun of it, even though you never see her face. So I do really love that there is a character named Jeannine in this movie. But yeah, definitely just a great kind of showcasing of all these great British actors kind of just popping up right at the start. And just a great pacing and storytelling. And then you kind of get into the story right away, but you get all the information you need. Like I said, Edgar Wright, he doesn't like to waste a frame. He uses every frame to do something interesting. And there's also kind of a lot of moments that you think are kind of throwaway moments that actually really come back. All the stuff with the goose, that comes back, and all the stuff with like the crossword puzzle, just random kind of dialogue and moments you don't think are going to really mean much in the end kind of come back in a really fun way. So definitely another example of him not wasting any moments. And I really, really absolutely love that about this movie, that everything kind of comes full circle and things come back. And so it also lends itself well to rewatches, because then you can kind of notice these things and how they do come back later in the story. And even like the setting up of the suspects, you get fun music cues and dialogue cues that, perk your eyes and have you kind of thinking things, and they're super obvious, but then they kind of turn themselves on their head. So I do love that about kind of how this murder mystery builds. And I also love my protagonist more when nobody's on their side and they kind of have to figure things out on their own and no one's believing them, and it's frustrating, but like I feel for them even more in those moments. So I love when you have a character moment like that. And I also thought it was a really relatable moment too when he gets to a point, Simon Pegg's Nicholas Angel character gets to a point where nobody's believing him. He thinks he's blown up this case and that he knows the answers, and he's wrong, or perceived to be wrong. And so then he just kind of gives up and he just doesn't really care. And I've been in, I think a lot of people have been in those frustrating places where, you kind of just give up when you're banging your head against the wall for so long and you're not getting anywhere, and you kind of just lose that luster and the determination that you had. So, I liked seeing him have that moment of doubt. Something I also really loved was the friendship that grew between Nicholas Angel and Nick Frost's character, Butterman. you know, we know them to be really great friends in real life. We've already seen them as really great friends in Shaun of the Dead. But to kind of see it build and, you know, have them share things with each other and them wanting the best for each other. I loved kind of seeing that build and grow. It was a really fun relationship with some great comedic moments as well. And just all the ancillary characters are great. All the other cops at the station, like you forget, you know, you have Olivia Colman in here, Oscar winner, that you kind of forget about, Jim Broadbent. Timothy Dalton, the Hound. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. The Hound from Game of Thrones. But definitely, you get a lot of great surprises and callbacks, and the action. And, you know, I think we were all kind of building to this big action ending, because that's kind of what the movies build as, this British version of an American action movie. You know, Butterman's character geeking out over Bad Boys 2 and Point Break and all these crazy set pieces, and, you know, asking Nicholas Angel these questions about, you know, shooting 2 guns while falling through the air and all of these things like that. So we get to see all of that, and like nobody actually dies. I kind of liked that too, that nobody actually died, but they all kind of get maimed and hurt really bad, and all get arrested. So I think that was kind of a fun thing. Like, you see these crazy shoot 'em up scenes, but nobody actually dies. Like a gruesome death. I think Timothy Dalton probably got it the worst, getting that whole spike going through his mouth. But other than that, I think that was kind of a fun choice to just have everybody get maimed really badly. But yeah, we got some epic fun action, some slow-mo scenes, some callbacks to things that they referenced, to American action movies that they referenced in the film itself. So then you kind of got those kind of spoof vibes. But yeah, you get like a little murder mystery. You get kind of this real appreciation for American action films, which I absolutely love action movies, particularly ones from my generation, the like 90s, early 2000s kinds of action movies. Totally my jam. So yeah, definitely references to those things were really fun and exciting, and to see them done in kind of a British vein was very interesting. Just a really smart idea for a movie, a smart concept, something I think we weren't really seeing at the time. And just a testament to why Edgar Wright is such a great filmmaker. His quick, fun edits, his smart dialogue choices, just how he uses his character, how he uses every frame to do something fun and interesting, and funny. The music choices, everything just about this movie is so much fun. So definitely really love Hot Fuzz, and I was really excited to revisit it. So yeah, guys, I think that's it for this movie night review. I will be back with another one, going off this crazy poster of the top 100 movies. I don't know who decided these were the top 100 movies, but they're on this poster, and I'm excited to see all the fun little graphics underneath each one, and see where this goes, and discover some movies that I have been like just not watching for all these years, and movies that I've seen that are some of my favorites that I get to revisit, and come up with some fun cool drinks to make and some snacks to eat. Who doesn't love that? So yeah, guys, I will see you in the next one, and thanks for hanging with me.